Hello, friends, and welcome to Bears and Games. This is yet another new series. I'm not going to stop making them. And this series is called The Gayest Games of All Time. And what it is that I'm going to take a game, or my guest is going to take a game, and they're going to prove to me that it's one of the gayest games of all time. And then we both give it a score of gayness, and then the audience in the comments leaves a score. So you got work to do. You're watching this video, you're gonna do work. And with me as the guest host for this episode, and hopefully plenty of upcoming episodes, is my bestie Rufus. Hello, Rufus.
Howdy, partners. Glad to be here.
Are you ready for some gayness?
Yes, absolutely I am.
Are you ready to discuss gayness?
I feel like the word gayness is it's palpable. We're inciting some powerful words here.
Mm-hmm. It's a very gay game. I'm gonna say it. I mean, obviously, I have to prove this to you, as you were not born yet. You are, here to represent the hottest demographic that I have. If I open up, let me just open up YouTube for a moment. This is more of a freeform discussion for a video. I normally do pre-written essays, but this time it's me and Rufus, and we're going to talk about stuff. Let me just open up my YouTube analytics for a moment. Go to YouTube Studio and go to analytics, and then I'm going to click audience. Now, if I look at my audience, they are 18 to 24. And then 25 to 34 is 75% of the viewers. So I think you are that I would call. Is that the Gen Z age range now?
That's the thing. I have always argued that I am a cusp baby, but you stick to your guns that I am Gen Z. I still consider myself a zillennial.
Okay, because I would say that the Gen Alpha is the 18 to 24. And then Gen Z, or is Gen Alpha the teens right now?
No,
I don't remember.
Gen Alpha are young teenagers right now.
Okay, so you are the first two demographics, which incorporate. I'm gonna just straight up say, 89% of my viewers is 18 to 34.
Wow.
So and that does definitely include the Gen Z and some younger millennials, including cuspers like you.
I represent. I'm the ambassador of the youngins for this one.
Because I'm old enough to be your father.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you are.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so this is a discussion about. Basically, I'm going to rank games by their gayness. And the numbers aren't going to be made by me. They're not going to be made by Rufus here. They're going to be made by you in the comments. Mm-hmm. You don't have to write a big, long comment. You can just put in a number if you want, or you can justify it with an essay. And then I'm going to take these numbers after a month. I'm going to collate them. And I'm going to do like a results video eventually. And find out, as I'm doing these, what are the gayest games of all time? Will Vigilante by Irem be one of the gayest games of all time? What do you think, Rufus?
The game is gay. Period. The game is definitely gay. I don't think it's the gayest game of all time. And the reason that I say that is just because it has a lot of plausible deniability in it. It certainly takes its inspirations from a lot of gay culture, and it certainly, as we'll get into, there are some big beefing dongs, but it's in that sort of 80s machismo kind of way where we look back on it, with this amount of hindsight, and we're like, oh yeah, that's totally gay. But in the moment, I don't think any of the homoeroticism was necessarily intended, at least not by the designers, like, as a whole.
Right. I would say, so I received the Sega Master System version of this game as a present for my, I guess, 10th birthday? I don't want to dox myself. It came out, I think, like 88 or 89, and I got it as a birthday present. And I noticed a few things, like cut to that clip from Clarissa Explains It All, where her friend is looking at the computer and saying, interesting.
Interesting.
Is basically my reaction to this game as a 10-year-old.
There's as an aside, there's also a Drake and Josh.
Or is it Drake and Josh? Is that what I'm thinking of?
What did you call it? Clarissa?
Clarissa Explains It All?
Oh, Clarissa Explains It All. I think...
is it iCarly?
Yeah, I think... Sorry, this is taking me back. If you're talking about a young Miranda Cosgrove looking at the computer, yes. that's Drake and Josh.
I don't know. I was in college.
See, and this is why he needs the millennial ambassador, because we do not need more Clarissa.
Well, listen, if I want to say Clarissa, I can say Clarissa. It's my goddamn show.
Truly, I am the guest here.
Yeah, you are the guest here, and you know what? I should be congenial and supportive of my guest, and obviously you have knowledge, secret Gen Z knowledge of Clarissa Explains It All, and iCarly, and Drake. So this is from Drake and Josh. I did actually have to look up what episode it was from and what show, because I've credited that clip before in my channel, but I that knowledge has been lost to me.
Okay, so I did look it up. Clarissa Explains It All is real. It is.
Yeah, of course it is.
It is, however, I think an entire decade too early. I don't even know if Miranda Cosgrove was born when this show started.
Was Clarissa the one who turned into the blob, like the CG blob? Or is that a different show? No, that's The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Okay. I have to believe you, like I trust you. Mm-hmm. I have no clue. Like, I genuinely thought that Clarissa Explains It All was fake until I just looked it up. I do not know anything that you're talking about.
There was a show called The Secret World of Alex Mack, and all I know about the show is she, like, turned into a puddle of goo, like the Terminator. There was a series of movies called The Terminator, you see, in the 80s and 90s, and today, even.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the Alex Mack Wikipedia page. Again, I had to fact check you to make sure that this thing was real. I do know about things from before I was born and when I was very young. However, you have to understand the late 80s and the early 90s were a sort of Wild West for television and media, where you could just kind of do anything as far as plot went. And
especially for kids media.
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, so when you said, is that the one where she turns into a blob? Again, that doesn't sound real. That sounds like a practical joke on me, and
what's happening? Like it's not any.
God, this was made by Lynch Entertainment.
Like David Lynch?
No, Thomas W. But if it was made by David Lynch, that would be way funnier.
That'd make a lot of sense. Although it does feel like more of Cronenberg-y, like body horror.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever watched this show. I saw ads for it on YTV, but I was like 16 or 17. Like, I was too old for it. And especially as I was the type of person who's like, I don't watch stuff for bebés.
Oh.
I'm an adult.
I 100% understand that. There was a long stretch where I was like, yeah, I don't watch that kind of stuff anymore. But then, kind of growing up, and getting into, I guess, the age that I am now, I have a really fond interest in stuff like this, just because, like, children's media has an odd sort of freedom to it, in that, like, a lot of people kind of view children's media as this Wild West where you can kind of do anything because, like, kids don't care. And that is kind of true, but also, like, it shows the best and the worst when it comes to showrunners and stuff like that, because there are some incredibly well put together, especially like well animated pieces of children's media, and then you also just have some of the worst, tackiest, like worst written, worst acted pieces of media ever found, and they're all directed towards children. And
right.
So it has an odd allure to it, for sure.
Well, and there's stuff like Captain Planet, which is well-meaning and has like a good voice cast, but I mean, I was 12 and I thought it was a show for bebés, so I did not. Well, I did watch Captain Planet just to boo at it because I had a lot of free time as a child, and I didn't use this time well.
I grew up in the kind of mid to late 2000s, and that was the Yu-Gi-Oh era, Yu-Gi-Oh Pokemon era, and so there were a lot of shows that were on when I was like watching cartoons actively. Duel Monsters, Bakugan, Chaotix, stuff that was intrinsically linked to card games or other kind of like collect 'em all Pokemon types. So I did grow up kind of jaded in that, because I'm just like, is this meant to be a good TV show, or is this meant to sell a board game? And a lot of the time it was just meant to sell a board game. And yeah, so I do I do know what it's like to boo a cartoon for sure.
I spent way too much time watching TV I actively did not like, but I did like Vigilante. How's that for a segue?
Wow,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
Call it a pogo stick with wheels, the way that's a segue.
Mm-hmm. Because I think I rented it before getting it, and I was like, I like this game, and I asked for it as a birthday present. I don't know if I was motivated by, like, not well understood feelings that I had. However, I definitely noticed the bulges in this game. I would say that is one of the first things I noticed as, let's say, like a tween when I was playing this.
It's hard to miss. Every single person in this game is either padding or very well endowed.
Mm-hmm. And I think the more... So, okay, this is a side-scroller. It's by Irem. I mentioned that before. It is sort of a sequel to Kung Fu Master, which was released as just as Kung Fu, or originally titled Spartan X in Japan. Based on it originally was based on Spartan X, which is a film with Jackie Chan, released in English-speaking countries as Meals on Wheels, I think, or Wheels on Meals. It was something like that. I don't know why it was called that. It has nothing to do with the charity service. But it was one of them side-scrolling games where you punch people. And you played as Thomas, who was a guy in a jumpsuit with Jackie Chan's haircut. But they did eventually remove the Jackie Chan license when it was released as Kung Fu. So just pretend that you don't notice it's obviously Jackie Chan. And this character from Kung Fu Master comes back in Vigilante. It's not directly stated, but he's wearing the same clothes and has the same haircut. So, and he's got like the Kung Fu, more sandals, like, I guess, like a soft fabric that only covers the sole of your foot and then your toes.
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude. I'm sure there's a name for them, but I don't know it. And so the first Kung Fu was about walking left and right. It was like the first side-scrolling beat 'em up, I believe. You might have to fact check that for me. Unlike Double Dragon, it only worked on a 2D plane. There was no depth of moving up or down in the screen, only left to right. And you could jump, but it wasn't a different plane. You're still stuck on the same 2D plane. And it famously had a bird that was super annoying and would kill you. That I remember. I haven't played that Kung Fu game since it came out, and I think my friend Lee had it on Nintendo or rented it. That is my one experience with that game.
You, the first time you said Kung Fu, I, for some reason, kind of like auto-corrected that into my brain as karate. And I was like, there's no way that this is a... Because, like, karate, I think it was a Commodore 64 game. It's like one of the kind of quintessential visuals for like old school gaming.
I've never heard of a game called Karate for the Commodore 64.
I think is it for the Atari? I swear this is real. Hold on. Anyway,
there's International Karate. Oh yeah, that was a big game for the 64. And there's Karateka. That's probably what you're thinking.
Oh, yeah, Karateka. That's right.
Yeah. I believe Karateka came out after Kung Fu.
Really?
Yeah, but they're very, very similar.
That's crazy to me. Just because of, like, how different they are in terms of visual fidelity, technical capability, all that.
Karateka had Jordan Mechner's like rotoscoping that I used again for Prince of Persia. So it was like based on his martial artist brother. He motion captured the video and then took the frames and put them into the game, basically.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I do remember Karateka having a like pretty smooth set of animations, some of which actually, not the animations themselves, but the smoothness, I do also see in Vigilante, especially with the Somersaultson brothers. The
Kung Fu was not as sophisticated as Karateka. Like, Karateka had different stances, and you're supposed to bow before you fight people, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vigilante has, I'm gonna go ahead and say 3 moves. And that's punch, nunchuck, and punch in dick.
No, there's kicks too.
Oh, true.
There is kicking and a low kick, which is a good like get away. Both the kicks are more of a put space between you and the bad guy. They aren't super damaging. Mm-hmm. And there's a jump kick as well. Which I don't think I ever used.
The game certainly looks fun. The combat for making up so much of the game does seem a bit... I mean, this is privileged of me to say for sure, because I grew up after all of this had been so far improved upon. But it does seem a little primitive.
Yeah. This was an amazing looking game when it came out. I would say it's like an early 16-bit arcade game, so it had way more colors than you're used to, and was really impressive looking. And the Sega Master System port, a very good port. Like, not quite arcade perfect, but a really good for an 8-bit console. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the best. The TurboGrafx came out a year later with its port in North America, and that looked arcade perfect, but this was still a very good port. Mm-hmm. But we didn't play that version. We played the arcade version, which is released by Arcade Archives by Hamster on the Nintendo Switch is how I played it. Just as a heads up, that's how I bought and played. And so it's basically an arcade ROM that you buy for $8, although they go on sale a lot, and when they're on sale I just buy up as many as I can for like $2, because there's a lot of great arcade ROMs on there. There's a lot of Neo Geo games in Arcade Archives too, which is cool.
Neo Geo.
It was SNK/Data East's console in the early 90s. I think it was released in 89 or 90. It was 24-bit because I think it had a 16-bit graphics processor and then another 8-bit processor or something. And that was the one where they actually took arcade ROMs and put them onto these 200 megabit cartridges. Mm-hmm. And each cartridge was $200.
Oh my god.
You were playing the arcade version. The console itself, I think, was $1,000 or something nuts like that back in the day. It was aimed at like high-end adults who wanted to play real arcade. Like the games were both released in arcades and for Neo Geo. And like you'd know a bunch of stuff that came out for that because like all the King of Fighters until I think 2002 were on Neo Geo, and like Mark of the Wolves was a Neo Geo game.
Ooh, okay.
All the Metal Slug games were on Neo Geo.
Oh, I love me some Metal Slug.
Yeah, and those were released for years. Did you and I play Metal Slug?
I think we were going to, and then we...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to finish that, Metal Slug 3, for reasons that I'll get into another time. Maybe for this series, actually.
When funny enough, a lot of my interest in games of this era stemmed from, I don't know if you remember this, there was a service called GameFly.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we would see on commercials and stuff like that wasn't just what was new, but also they offered a lot of stuff virtually. They were one of the first like video game streaming services.
Oh yeah, didn't they have a service where you could play like? Didn't they release those Sam and Max games on it?
Mm-hmm. And they also did one of their biggest things that they would do on, because I saw it on like Adult Swim commercials and stuff like that, was actually not only King of Fighters but specifically Mark of the Wolves. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was that's how I kind of familiarized myself with a lot of this era of games.
Like one of the first places to do Saturn emulation too, which is crazy because you still can't. There's no re-releases of Saturn games, and there really should be.
Yeah,
that's my hot take.
Sega Saturn or like a lot of Sega Dreamcast games still don't have good re-releases either. Power Stone and there's still not a ton of ways to play like Bloody Roar.
Well, Power Stone 1 and 2 just got released in that new Capcom collection on Switch. I have it.
Really?
Yeah. It's also got Project Justice. I think that's all it's got for like the Sakura, that Sakura fight, 3D spin-off Street Fighter game. Rival Schools. I think it has rival. I know it has at least one Rival Schools game. And Starblade, which was but it doesn't have Bloody Roar because that wasn't Capcom.
Which is a shame. As far as like fighting games go, Bloody Roar is among my absolute favorites. But what what Bloody Roar is missing is bears, which this game has so many of. Pachow! Platinum Metal segue back into Vigilante. There are quite a few bear icons here in Vigilante. You should tell me all about this because I'm nubile. I don't know the first thing about bears.
Well, this game has a lot of direct inspiration from like the Warriors and Fist of the North Star and Mad Max. So you get a lot of like street toughs, like musclemen, street punks who have been taking a lot of steroids, and yet they have these bulges. Like you'll notice, like at first you might not even notice it. That everyone has a bulge. All these men that you fight, you only fight men in this game. They're all beefy. They're all at least like an X size XL, going up to like 5XL or more. And they all have bulges. And when you get to like the first, like I would call them like mini bosses. There's a couple of mini bosses that are beefier and as their size increases, so does their bulges. And you might say, Johnny, you're reading too much into this. And I say, Rufus, shut your goddamn mouth.
Oh, what?
JK. You and I are besties. That was just a straw man argument. You never said that. You never said, and you don't have to shut your goddamn mouth. You're a delight.
I would hope not. You did invite me here to open my goddamn mouth.
Yeah, it's true.
And speaking of opening my goddamn mouth, I would like to reiterate here what Johnny is saying here with the you only fight men in the game. I would like to kind of go one step further there. There are no women in the game except for who you're trying to save, and that person is Madonna.
Yeah. And you might feel like, oh, they're named Madonna. I'm like, no, she's kind of dressed like the Like a Virgin video.
No, literally, like the long kind of like Marilyn Monroe-y blonde wig that Madonna was known for back in, well, the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her dye job and her that curly, big, poofy hair. It's Madonna. This is a game. This is why this is one of the gayest games ever made. You're rescuing Madonna. You are playing Jackie Chan, and you're rescuing Madonna. Okay, the Jackie Chan part, not that gay, and that's fine. You know, but everything else around this game, being motivated to rescue Madonna, as we were playing it, Rufus noted that, hey, this is the equivalent now would be what, Sabrina Carpenter or Chapel Rowan?
Yeah. The idea of a video game where you play a young virile man going on a dick punching quest to save Chapel Rowan, that would sell 1 million copies in the first weekend, is all I'm saying.
Of course. Of course. And the first boss of the game, this is definitely a Miranda moment for me. It's this big, bearded man. He's like twice as tall as you are, and thick. He's a chubby gentleman, and has the giantest bulge. And if you punch this bulge, because he is coming to attack you, there's no romance options in this game. And if you punch him in the dick, he responds differently than if you punch him anywhere else. The enemies in this game frequently have a ow you punch me in the dick animation where they like crumple inwards, like protecting their junk. And this is the first game that I know of, you know, I haven't played all games in the 80s and 70s, that has a dick punching mechanic.
And it sounds kind of like tongue in cheek, but really though, like we were playing like Battletoads, and we've played other beat 'em ups in the past from this era, and there is kind of like there's a low and a high attack animation for like receiving damage, but none of them so like prominently feature the genitals either as an attack receiving point or as a reaction for the animation. It's more just like, oh, I got hit in like the stomach or legs, or even just kind of like bounced backwards kind of thing. But no, there is a lot of attention paid to both the bulges of the enemies in this game and what happens when you touch them.
Yes. Which is, you know, incredible. And there is a definite like like the men get sweatier and beefier as you go. Like the second stage boss is these twins. They're beefy, but the third stage boss is just a shirtless fat muscle bear with a giant bulge. Like, and now I don't. Okay,
as you can see through the footage too, it's not just that these men are big or fat or have big bulges, but it's the inclusion of the like leather, the studded leather around the wrists and ankles, the like colorful mohawks, the leather jackets and stuff like that. There is a very like palpably 80s leather gay bar aesthetic to all of the enemies in this game.
And I can see this, like, it's not like Final Fight where that crosses a line where I feel like the designs are more deliberately homoerotic. But, you know, this, again, I don't want to make any, I wouldn't say accusations because there's nothing negative about being gay, but I don't know Aki Man, who did the designs for Street Fighter 2 and Final Fight. I don't know if he's queer or not. None of my business. But they do seem queer. What would you call that? Like referencing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're referencing stuff like Tom of Finland and leather culture and stuff.
Oh yeah.
This game, I could see this game being made by someone who's seen Streets of Fire and The Warriors and Mad Max and Fist of the North Star obviously is a big influence on this, and being like, okay, I want to make big scary punks like this, and not. And though all those reference queer culture, they all reference like the leather biker look that already was a huge thing since the 50s. Like they're referencing this in those movies. Like Mad Max explicitly has a queer character queer couple who reference leather culture, and that was a touchstone, I think, for a lot of character design that didn't really notice that this was a queer iconography and just made it like this is an intimidating bad guy iconography, which is why Fist of the North Star is so kind of hilarious, because there's all these just big leathermen. And dressed like leathermen, but it doesn't seem to be commenting on leather culture at all. It just uses the imagery of leather culture like Mad Max did.
See, for this exact reason, I do 100% agree that the game is gay, but there is a sort of, there's a balance of ignorance when it comes to this kind of thing for how gay it comes across. And on one end, you have knows it's gay and is trying to be gay, and on the other hand, you have knows it's gay and is trying not to be gay. And in the dead center, right. Yeah, I think you have things like this. The game is definitely, is going to catch the eye of a young, let's say, perhaps, Johnny-aged fellow back in the late 80s, and is going to spark some interest there. But it is drawing, even though its sources that it's drawing inspiration from have been influenced by gay culture, it itself is not drawing from directly from queer culture. And right. It doesn't seem to know enough about itself in that way to either lean into or lean away from the sort of queer influence, because I don't know about you, but there is nothing to me that makes a piece of media gayer than when it knows for a fact how gay its premise is and is trying so hard to not to reiterate to you oh no, I'm straight, it's super straight, I swear.
Mm-hmm. I agree. There is something delightful about when we talk about Pit Fighter. I'd like to have you back for Pit Fighter. I think you'll enjoy it as really bad technology, going down a weird path for video games, but also being a really inadvertently homoerotic video game in such a delightful way. And this is the same. However, that last boss. Let's talk about that last boss for a minute. That last boss has a dick swinging animation. It's not just a bulge. There is animation and movement to the bulge of the last boss.
Yeah, no, there's heft. There's capital H heft there.
You can see that dong swinging around as he moves. It's just tempting you to punch it, seeing hey there, I'm his big old penis. You can punch me right here. I'm gonna hurt.
we here at the BBC would like to apologize for the rendition of the penis voice that Johnny has just done.
Was it insensitive?
There's a lot of penises just knocking at my front door asking for retribution. I have to cover my bases.
More like back door.
You think this is funny? Do you think my job is a joke?
Sorry.
But no, it's seriously, like, I kind of thought it was, again, one of these tongue-in-cheek things, but we get into that last boss, and yeah, no, it's like the size of your whole head. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It really is. So, I think we've covered it. I think we've covered Vigilante. Is there any, before you and I give a numerical score out of 10 to the gayness of this game, do you have any last observations or remarks about Vigilante, Mr. Rufus?
It's a great game. I haven't played it, but I've watched you play it. And, I think that this is I think it's good to start on a game like this for a series like this, because it's good to establish a sort of middle-of-the-road comparative point for other games going forward. Because I certainly am going to give this a more middling score. And when I am on again, it'll be nice to kind of be able to go like, okay, so if this is a blank, then this other game is a blank in comparison.
Right. Well, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And I admit this is a subjective response due to my experience of my Miranda Cosgroving. Is that her name? Miranda Cosgrove?
Yeah. That's her name, though. The character's name is Megan. I don't know if Miranda Cosgrove is I don't know if she would necessarily appreciate being the mascot of your young queer discovery. Okay, fine.
My interesting moment.
Mm-hmm.
My Drake and Josh interesting. But I don't want it to relate to those bozos. We'll just call it my interesting moment. Because it definitely was. So, to me, it may be a couple extra points due to how eye-opening it was. What about you? What you gonna give?
I am going to give this a 4.5, and that 0.5, I just don't think that this is self-aware enough. I think that it's so. It definitely has its homoeroticism about it, but it's so seemingly blatantly unaware of itself to where it can't comment on it sufficiently enough to give me what I want out of a truly gay game experience.
Okay, that you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Now, viewers, your job is to put in a number between 1 and 10 in the comments, and then I'm going to average them, and it's going to go into my big old list, compiling what we all... And, my view's going to count as well to the total score, and so is Rufus's. We're going to pack it all together, and it's going to go in an Excel spreadsheet, and then we're going to figure out what the gayest games of all time are. And right now it's Vigilante because it's 1 of 1.
1 of 1. It is both the gayest and least gay game ever made.
Yeah, exactly. Least gay game.
True. God, yeah.
It's gotta, there has to be at least some element of gayness for it to come on this list. Tetris is gonna go on this list.
I think I disagree. Tetris is perhaps one of the gayest games ever made.
Disagree. Britney's Dance Beat, I could see an argument for. That's something that could be. If you brought Britney's Dance Beat to me, I'd be like, okay, let's talk about it. You know, that's the sort of, like, I feel like a wide spectrum from your Chowanikis. There's a Chowaniki collection that got stealth dropped on Switch that I got to pick up.
Oh.
Do you know what a Chowaniki is?
Yeah, no, I am well aware of Chowaniki.
Okay. So, yeah. So from, I would say, like, the gayest game, notoriously very gay game to, you know, Tetris. But I'd rather not put Tetris in the show. I feel like it needs a little spark of something.
I will find an especially gay Tetris to put on the show. I will find perhaps the gayest Tetris known to man, and I will put that on the show.
All right. Well, Rufus, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here.
Yeah.
For being my buddy.
Thank you for
coming on the show. Thank you, listeners. If you like this show, there's lots more. I also review and rank every single open world drivey shooty crime game. I do Switch reviews. I've done a Vita review just for the heck of it because I like portable game systems. And I'm also doing some stuff on queer culture and bears in video games and kind of all sorts of videos. So if you like any of that, if you like racing games, there's lots. You don't have to be gay to enjoy this channel.
It does
but
help,
it
man.
helps. Do you have anything to promote at this time, Mr. Rufus?
Wash behind your ears. Brush 3 times a day. Drink lots of water.
Mm-hmm. Where can folks find you if you want to be found?
God, right now I don't.
Okay. Do not perceive Rufus. He does not want to be perceived at the moment, but maybe later he'll drop a link or something. We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you, viewers. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content and want to see more, and check out the Square Roots podcast, the great JRPG and RPG and other game podcast book club style show that I do with my friends Vanessa, Matt, and Jim. Vanessa and Matt in the latest episode of Square Roots are worried I'm recording with you because I'm setting you up to replace them for a new Gen Z audience. They were very worried about that.
To that I say, the future is now, old man.
Oh, hey, Vanessa's a lady. Don't misgender Vanessa.
You're so right. That is not
old woman and old man.
Old woman and man.
Have some respect for your elders.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, sure. These are the people, by the way, who have been accusing me of being a toddler. I'm almost 30, and they still are like, oh, what is he watching, Bluey? No.
All right, listeners, I love you, but not, but platonically. Let's not make it weird. Goodbye. Do you want to say goodbye, Rufus?
Bye.
Bye.